portal here in just a minute to give you a precursor to it before we get into doors, and because it is a huge part of our value equation with consumers, and y'all are going to learn the mechanics. Bless you. You'll learn the mechanics on the webinar. I want to spend a little time talking about sales technique and how you can leverage it for your advantage as well. Okay, and then we'll talk about. I want to talk about doors here in a little bit. Have y'all seen? Did Marty show you doors? Mm-hmm. The listing presentation. Mm-hmm. Yes. What have you guys been using for a listing presentation?
Something much smaller than that.
That's everybody. That's everybody. Yeah, something much smaller. Have y'all been using visuals?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like what have you been using?
A packet that has a picture of their home on the front,
okay,
with comps and
okay,
what I could do to market their property.
Okay. Okay, good.
Marketing plan.
Okay, good. And what is an interesting change for a lot of offices is that it sounds like you have been keeping something organized for people to use. Mm-hmm. Is that correct? Okay. So it's a pretty consistent visual that we're giving.
We're hoping.
Okay.
They're in charge.
Well, let me tell you. Here, this is, as I'm talking about doors, this is one of the really fundamental differences. Is there a RE/MAX office here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Several.
Has anybody been 100% before? Or in a RE/MAX office? All right. The best way to understand Weichert offices is if you understand the RE/MAX structure and turn it upside down. Okay? Let me give you some examples. Name one broker you know that owns, one of the brokers of one of the RE/MAX offices. Name one.
Ed Hammond.
Ed Hammond. He's got how many agents?
120.
Okay. 110. Do you know when Ed Hammond has first data or information about the clients that one of his agents is working with?
When he gets a check for settlement.
Or when there's a complaint or lawsuit during the process, or after closing. You follow? That's and in most cases it's after closing, because most deals go without complaints, you know. It's the exception, not the norm, for most brokers. But he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know who the agents are working with, what's going on, what their activities are about, until closing. Now, if you want to understand Weichert, flip that on its head. You guys will be working many, many, many clients that have been given to you, that have been handed to you by Weichert Corporate or the office, and we're the ones that generated the lead, captured the lead, logged it, and then started the partnering process with you of getting it closed. Does that make sense? Do you see how that is completely opposite of the way other companies have done it? We have corrected, and I've been around for 33 years, worked in every structure of real estate possible. We have corrected this critical mistake of putting the agent above the consumer's interest. Real estate does this all the time. They put the agent, you know, it's like, here's the consumer's interest, here's the agent's interest, and we put the agent's interest above the consumer's interest all the time. Let me give you an example. Listing agent protection. Now, I'll just start out by getting you upset. Y'all realize the worst person to get a buyer lead on your listing is you?
Yeah.
Y'all know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is awesome. How did you get them to that point?
Bobby and I have been very selective as who's in this room, and that's why we're small,
this is
but
beautiful.
We're damn good.
Okay, but this is beautiful. Because, and now it usually gives people some stop, you know, when they hear that. But we've got the data. I mean, we know it, and we know the reason. I mean, we get down into the psychology of this stuff, in the little microscopic elements of people's brains, and set sales systems that flip it, that flip the switch. You follow? Okay, so here's an example of one right there, and it's beautiful. You guys are 3/4 enlightened. See, the listing agent, you new people, the reason the listing agent can be the worst person to do it is, what is the only good outcome of a buyer inquiry to you on the phone? What's the only good outcome of that interaction?
I get to sell them something else.
You catch a potential buyer is on the phone with you for the first time, asking about a listing. What is the only good outcome of that phone call?
An offer.
Immediate.
We're on the phone. We're on the phone. That's okay. No, this is how it's supposed to work.
Get an appointment.
Yeah, but you're the broker. You're not supposed to answer.
Do I?
No, I'm just kidding. That is correct.
I'm not the broker, Bobby.
Okay. The only good outcome
We can put the blame on
of
us.
the only good outcome of a buyer inquiry coming in is an appointment. We can't do anything to serve their needs until we get an appointment. Is that correct?
Right.
Can't sell them anything over the phone. So the only good outcome of any buyer inquiry call coming in about a listing is an appointment. Okay. Now, so this is something you guys already know. Maybe new people don't. The reason a listing agent's the worst person in the world to take the call is they know about the chipped paint in the master bedroom in the corner. And they're enthused and encouraged by something to explain that to the people on the phone. Because there's a sense that the equation is information equals service, and it doesn't. The more information we give on the phone to a buyer inquiry, the less likely they are going to have a good experience with us. Is that true? Okay. So you guys have already got that. And so we flip that switch. And also listing agents are busy. You know, they have other things on their mind. Some listing agents have 15 or 20 different listings going, and you may have 4 or 5 deals pending. And this is almost an interruption. Is that right? With other leads coming in, okay? So things like that, to understand Weichert is to understand 100% of RE/MAX office and flip it on its head and see that we're totally different in that regard. We partner with you guys all the way through the business, okay? So I general managed this Central One firm, and then I've been with Weichert for 13 years. We started franchising now going on 14 years ago. And we started you're from New Jersey. So you know there's a law in New Jersey that when you hit 65, you have to retire to Florida.
Or Delaware.
Well, yeah.
It's becoming.
The half-backers, then y'all will be the 2/3 backers or something, right? Half-backers are in the Carolinas. You know, they go down and come back. But that's why we started our franchising in Florida. Our first franchise was in Florida because it's basically a suburb of, New Jersey. New York, and so everybody, so we started selling that. And y'all know Marty gave you the background. We're big, we're growing like crazy. 34 states now, or 35, I don't always keep track. Jim Weichert, he showed you pictures of Jim Weichert. He's actually a person. I mean, it's amazing. He walks around, he comes in the campus, he comes to his office every day. The guy owns 2 Learjets and one helicopter more than I do. And he still comes in the office every day. And he thinks about real estate. His son, James, who is now the co-president, who just graduated from Harvard a few years ago. Well, it's been about 10 years now. And Jim has run him through every position in the company on his way up to understanding what he's going to be taking over from his dad. There's no desire to go public at all. They're not going to. They own the whole thing. There's no debt. And part of that, and I'm telling you, is why I'm here. I could work for any franchise. Could Mark Hanna, could Marty Reuter, who you saw in here the other day, but Jim has set up this marvelous thing that we're able to spread all over the country now and help people grow their personal businesses, help their families, and it's a fantastic thing. So for the last 13 years, hope you'll see it in me. I think you saw it in Marty, and you'll see it in Mark and the other people. We're just having a ball because we're helping people grow, and now the recession bummed us out because we were just really on a climb, and then everything just kind of slowed down. But y'all know we lost fewer offices than other franchises, percentage-wise. We continue to sell new franchises through the recession, and now it's just going crazy. Jim is hiring franchise salespeople left and right. I think we're up to like 38 franchise salespeople all over the country. And this is a major expense for Jim that the other folks can't do or bring. So anyway, I hope I'm gonna bring some enthusiasm to Weichert to you guys, because we're having fun right now. And I hope Mark Hanna will be here tomorrow as well. So anyway, that's a quick update of who I am, so you can kind of know what I'm about. I've had a lot of other real estate experiences that we'll share as we go through some of this material as well. But with that said, any questions about Weichert that just popped into your head from what I've said? Nothing? Okay, all right. And y'all have not seen doors yet. Okay, I'm going to log on to the Lead Network portal first, just because I want to show you guys how this works. That work? Did y'all watch the Kentucky Derby?
No.
Didn't?
Yes, I did. And I was wearing a hat too.
When you were doing what?
I was wearing one of those hats too.
That was the same night as that very disappointing night that I didn't watch that either.
You go see that? Yeah, we watched that.
Damn it.
There's a party for it. Oh, really? We made
Log
our
in.
own hats.
Ah.
Have you seen to see his community? See if I can make it just on the
For a
free
day.
day.
It was fun.
He's gonna have to make an adjustment, I think.
Good.
You name your friend.
Oh, no, we made our own hats.
She said,
Yeah, she bought all sorts of hats and flowers and garter across the.
There we go. Oh, we're not up. Sorry about that. Okay, so when you guys get, and a lot of this will be,
There we go.
good, come
Oh,
on.
there you go.
Okay. In the All Things Virtual, they'll be talking about this and getting you guys set up. But when I'm gonna be working with the team here, we're gonna figure out how we're gonna start this out. Some of you may choose not to go on the Lead Network. It'd be at the beginning, most people choose to go on it, and so we'll probably have to do some rotation stuff to fill it. But you'll see how this settles in. But you're going to be given access to this portal, so you'll see this portal in your Lead Network life. Now, what I want to explain, what I want to show you is this is a lead management system for one source of leads. The only leads that we're running through this portal are ones that come from the Lead Network. Now, did Marty show pictures of the Lead Network to you? Are you aware of what the Lead Network is? A call center up in New Jersey. And I'll pull up pictures of it later and show you.
Yeah, he didn't pull anything up, but he told us about it.
Okay, but he didn't show.
System.
Okay, all right. And so there's people sitting there answering the phone and looking at web forms from 9 to 9 every day, and we're expanding those hours now that we've gone out in California and we've got more strength out there. But they are answering the phone inquiries from Weichert.com. Have y'all gone to Weichert.com yet? I hope you have. Okay. If you haven't, put a pin on that and do that tonight. Go take a look at Weichert.com. But after they go there, then well, first of all, let me tell you this. Weichert.com has the longest visit time of any national real estate site. So you got Century21.com, you got Coldwell Banker, here I saw a Coldwell Banker site, you got ColdwellBanker.com, and you have these national sites, they have Weichert.com. Well, when people go to Weichert.com, they spend on average 11 minutes clicking around. The second closest competitor is ColdwellBanker.com, as I understand the last look we had online. They have websites that compare these things. The second closest competitor is Coldwell Banker at 9 minutes. Now the point is, consumers are sitting there poking around for over 10 minutes on Weichert. They see Weichert, 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 Weichert. And then they decide to make an inquiry through either a web form or a phone call, which by the way, it's over 60% of them are phone calls. Isn't that interesting? People sitting there at their computer when they could easily just sit and do a web form, they pick up the phone. What does that tell us?
They want it now.
Urgency, and people still like to talk on the phone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Good direction.
with clear direction and non-committal invitation. You follow? Which is what the website does. And we pull y'all go to the website, you'll see it's very, that 800 numbers on every page, can't get rid of it. It used to have this little headsetted lady, you know, there, but it's a different picture now. I think that they keep changing it around. But so anyway, people are wiker. Now that's an important point. I want y'all to remember that. This consumer okay, let me ask you another question. You know where the vast majority of our internet inquiries come from? People located where? Anybody know? Where do you think most leads come from, internet leads? I'll make it easier for you. Within your market or outside of your market? Huh? Where do most of the internet leads come? Somebody guess. It's binary. You said outside? Okay, you're wrong. Ah, all right, jeez. Play along. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'm new, man. It's easy.
It is. Within 50 miles of your office. The vast majority of your real estate internet leads are going to come within 50 miles of your office. Unless you're a resort area, you know, and the majority of your business is people moving, you know. Now, y'all can be a little different because of the military component, okay? But the point is, it's people shopping at the same grocery store as you that are sitting there clicking around looking at Weichert.com. Make sense? Their kids go to school here. And then they make an inquiry to the lead network, which is basically saying, hey, we got a little bit of urgency, and yes, we're interested. And they talk to the lead network customer service, the lead network person up there. And the lead network person grills them. Well, they don't grill them, but they ask them some questions. Most the paranoid consumer would consider any question a grilling. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. But they allow them to ask them a couple of questions. Are you working with a Weichert agent? You know, that kind of stuff. But the key one is, do you want to talk to an agent now? That's the question, that magical question. Now, I want y'all to keep in mind what they have gone through to get to that point. They've gone through 15 or 20 minutes of Weichert interaction. They know they're talking to Weichert. Does that make sense? Name awareness is complete at that moment when they're on the phone with them. And the lead network person says, would you like to speak with an agent now? And they say yes. And the lead network person says, great. Can I put you on hold for just a minute while I get your agent? And so they put them on hold. Then they start the look. They start calling. Y'all know y'all are up on a list on their computer screen. They try to call an agent. Now, we have something very exciting going on right now. Is that up to that point of the process that I just described, it's perfect. No one else has it. We do it better than anybody else. Where we have, no one else has a call center. No other real estate company has a call center. All these things are adding up to why we have a 3 or 4 times higher close rate of our internet leads than anybody else. It's because we do all this before we get to that point of handing the lead off to an agent, but we have a flaw in our system right at that point. Because quite often, what's your name?
Crystal.
Crystal's the one that's on the list for the lead network to call, and they try to call Crystal, and Crystal's working with the buyer right now. And she's off showing a house. And because because Crystal is a great agent, she stays busy, it wasn't top of mind awareness for her to signal the lead network that she was unavailable for a couple hours. Y'all follow? Which you can do, but no fault of yours, you didn't, because you were busy with another client. I get that, okay? Or you went in the bathroom, okay? So that's the only flaw in the lead network, is how we have been placing leads with agents straight to your cell phone. Or you're driving down the road or whatever, and you're